Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to thank you for tuning in and watching this. Either you're watching this on a live stream or you're watching the replay. I appreciate both audiences. Hopefully we get this show going pretty quickly. I'm trying to get this thing set up. Just bear with me as I'm dealing with some technical difficulties. By the way, the show, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our show, you must be a member of Stunthangar Forum. At Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link, which is right below in memory of our friends, and it's called At the Bench. So you want to find At the Bench. Now, if you are not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. It only appears if you're a member and if you're logged in. So you want to go to the At the Bench thread and then click on today's link, which has today's date. And then click on that, and I'll bring you right into the show. You might, if it's your first time, you might okay your camera and okay your microphone. But other than that, that's how you get in, okay? Now on this channel, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. This is not mine. I do the live stream every Monday and Friday evening. Now to join the Stunthangar Forum, you need to use your real first and last name when you register, separated by a space between your first and last name, and a valid email address. Okay, if you don't have that, Sparky will not approve you. Now, if you're approved, but you're more inclined to just watch us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments right over here in the chat box. I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself. So be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do that during a live stream. So during the live stream, you can ask questions or have comments that I'll see in the live stream chat box. So if you're watching this as a replay, you're not going to have an opportunity to post any questions or any comments. All right. So I see that Sparky's here already. Hey, Sparky, thank you for coming in.
What's up?
And anyways, we also would like to ask you to please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. I mean, for 17 cents a day, you have Sparky, who's building airplanes. He's actually built over 500 airplanes, and he's constantly building planes on this channel. You can watch, and you can even ask questions during the build in the chat box. And it's a great opportunity to see how to do things. Might not be the only way to do it, but it's what's been successful for Sparky for all these years. So you have access to that. Plus, my show, I have sometimes former national champions. Every blue moon or so, I get a former world champion to come in. And in most of the gallery, they have lots of years of experience. So for all that, for 17 cents a day, I really think it's a steal. You know, I think if you've been watching this show and you're not supporting us, shame on you, because there's nothing else like this out there. And this is a great opportunity for you to stand on the shoulder of these giants to build your planes and fly your planes. And it's a great opportunity. Now, if you don't want to do the monthly subscription of $4.99, and it's 2 tiers above that, also you can do what's called the super chat, which is right below the chat box over here. There's a $sign there. Click on that and you can donate any amount. And hopefully you'll donate inclined to what you're receiving in return. And then if you're watching this as a replay, you'd want to hit the 3 dots, click on that, and then be a sub menu, and then you do what's called the super thanks. And again, please donate in relationship to what you're getting in return. And I think what we're doing, honestly, is fantastic. Matter of fact, I'm a member myself of the YouTube channel. I don't have to do that. And so partner up with me and make this thing happen. So anyway, Sparky, I've been watching a little bit. I'm way behind on the Spectre rebuild, but I really have been enjoying it. I just think I just finished the number 6 video today.
It's finished.
Going on to number 7 for me.
Yeah. There's 24 of them.
Yeah. I mean, that is, again, this is what we're talking about, you know, being able to I benefit watching this. Look at that. Let me make you big here, Sparky, if I can do that. Let me see here. There's just two of us, so yeah, I need one more person to come in to make you big. For some reason, I can't make you larger than me. We're both sharing the screen. That looks good, Sparky. I've seen the thumbnails. I know that the wing is in the fuselage, but where I'm at is it's the wing hasn't been covered yet. You're just starting to cover the wing.
There we are.
Yeah, very, very nice. Looks good. That looks better than the RF, that's for sure. That's in my opinion.
Well, one of the guys said he didn't know how he'd like the green. Well, I didn't know how I'd like the green either, but but that's what I had.
Yeah, it looks good. You the black and the gray and the yellow, that really makes a difference. Now that Gary Sinclair's in, I can make you big. Let me make you big now so people can see it full screen.
There you go.
I think it looks good. I think it looks really good.
I'm gonna put fillets on it and paint them silver.
Nice. Nice. Well, I really do like that. I think Steve, the original Steve Smith, is going to really enjoy flying it. And
Let me show
even
you my battery hold down. This is what goes. I showed this already in the last video, but I'll show it to you. This is how my mind works. I've seen all kind of different ways of doing things in this electric field. My battery hold down is that one stick right there.
okay.
One screw. You take that out. The battery comes right out. Come on out of there. Oh, I probably should have unhooked it. There we go. It unplugs like so. Then, if you look in here, I'll get the camera in hand.
Alrighty.
I'm sure that there'll be somebody, you can't do it like that. Well, guess what? It's done. The starter wire, the switch is right there. It runs up along there on a shelf.
Yeah.
Keep it out of the way. Of course, the arming plugs down there. The timer it's got two little holes in it. I just glued those little two holes on a standoff so that you don't have to take it out. You can just plug and unplug it right there in the airplane.
Very good.
And on the bottom there, where the ESC is, it's on a platform that has holes in it so that it cools underneath. The two diodes are facing forward, so they get in the most cooling. And then as far as the battery goes, instead of holding it up against the wall there's this standoff right here with holes in it, so that the air's going in one end, out the other, or whatever, to try to keep that cool. And we got a nice windage through there.
I see that.
And out the bottom. So
yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Like you saw there, those are the only real wrinkles on this airplane. We're up around this nose.
Yeah, that's a compound curve. That's no fun.
Well, I'm not a monocoder. I didn't claim to be a monocoder.
I think you did a good job. Really, it's not easy to do that. So the Spectre and the AMA numbers, those are all cut monocoat, or
no, they're vinyl.
Okay, off your vinyl cutter. That'll work.
Yeah, that's all the black I had, so that's all the lettering that's going on it. But you see, it looks like an SV. So, the way that Vector 40 rudder is kind of goofy, a little small. I made it look more like an SV. Let me put this on and I'll hold it on the side.
Sure. Let me get to the control panel. I haven't gone there yet. I like to watch a show there. Just give me a second. So how much can you can move that battery a little bit forward, a little bit back, and maybe a little bit up or down, or there's not much adjustability as far as the vertical CG?
Not much. It's straight in line with the wing, so that should be It's right in the center, sitting on the center line of
Okay.
the wing. So
Right.
it
That should be good.
should be good. And as far as forward and back, there ain't much room. I thought he was getting me a smaller battery, but the length of the battery is longer than the other one that he had in it. But
Okay.
but it is half the size, or 2,700 instead of 4,000. So what it looks like from the side, I think it looks just like an SV.
Yeah, it looks very cool. Yeah, looks very cool. I mean, the Vector and the SV look very similar. Just the scale, one's bigger than the other. They look
Right.
very similar. It looks good.
And it lost, let's see, it's 53. It lost 7 ounces.
Oh, that's good. And that'll make a difference.
There's no tip
Looks
weight.
awesome, Sparky.
There's no tip weight in this thing now. I remember I took out all their add-on tip weight. Now watch this wing. There's
Oh
no
my
tip weight
goodness.
in it.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with none. And as far as the balance goes, it's God, I hate, no wonder why it had 3 ounces in it for tail weight. The balance is about right there.
Okay. Yeah, that looks good.
Still a little nose heavy.
That's
But
good for his first flight.
he had, I was getting ready to put this thing back together without moving the controls. He had a sliding elevator horn on the back. I had 3 ounces of lead in this thing and the tail to get it to turn. I didn't put the thing together the first time, so I didn't know what was going on. Had I known what was going on, it had smaller elevators than this
Yeah.
and less movement. He had that slider about halfway down. So what I did was I slid it all the way up. Plus they're 4-inch elevators now instead of 3-inch. So we should get some more authority on the tail so it gets that snap.
I think so too. Let me catch up on the chat box. I have Daniel Barry Sports highlights.
Yo!
I know usually it's yo, but it's how's it going?
Oh boy.
So, all right, you caught me off guard, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. That's good. That's cool. And then Gary Sinclair, who's a monitor of our YouTube channel, and he's the first member of our Stunthangar YouTube channel membership. He says, "Hi everyone, like provided. Thank you, Gary." And then Marcel Legrand says, "Hi Charles and everyone at Stunt School." I like that so much, Stunt School. And then Dennis Adamison, who's a member of our YouTube channel, he says, "Like delivered." And then we have Henry Bruce. I think I've seen you before. He says, "Wow, that's an amazing airplane." Very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So we have right now 17 concurrent viewers and 14 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that. And we have 0 chat revenue and 0 new members. Please consider supporting this channel with your super chats and likes and subscriptions, all those engagements and comments, all that helps. Please help build Stunthangar YouTube channel by participating and engaging in the show. And what do you got there, Dennis? I see your.
I got something for Sparky and Steve.
Let me
Be on a little bit.
and let me see here. Let me find you there. All right. Very cool. Is it green and darker green, the 2 lines, or are they all this light
Yeah,
green?
they're all kind of stacked on each other, but they're all lime green. I talked to Steve and Sparky last night or yesterday afternoon after their stream, and says, "Hey, why not matching lines?"
Very
And
nice.
these are actually bright enough that you can see them on a grass field. So it's the same color as the line I use for my Stooge line.
Like the reel. The reel is black and yellow as well. That's a pretty cool reel.
Yeah. It's a regular Sullivan reel. They made some for a while. They made them in 2 colors. And they were kind of cool looking. But any rate, I hope to get them stretched out and finished off and whatever, and get them on to.
We'll pick them at your contest.
All right, we can do that. We can do that. But, although that's going to be 2 months away now. But yeah, we'll make it work.
Maybe Steve needs them then. I don't know.
one problem at a time, Sparky. You got to take a number. So
Yeah.
So Dennis, since I have your attention and you have my attention, what you been up to?
just trying to get ready for my trip next week. So been working on the big flying wing, and I haven't flown that for 4 or 5 years now. I'm not even sure how long. And had to clear it out from some dust and repair a few things, and had to do some surgery on it to remove tip weight because I want to fly it on Spectra, and I know that the amount of tip weight I have in there is going to be excessive, and it wasn't adjustable, so I had to rebuild that. And I actually did make it adjustable this time, so I should be able to sneak up on it. Other than that, I'm looking like we're going to have a flying day tomorrow. Maybe my last chance before I leave, because the rest of the week it gets warmer, but it gets windy. So tomorrow not looking too bad. So I'm gonna try to sneak out one more time and see if we can get ready. Don't want to take a chance of being over practiced, So you got to keep fresh, right? So.
Yes.
How's Bob McDonald doing? I don't suppose he's going to VSC this year.
No, I don't think so. In fact, what I read, I have not had it. I haven't talked to Bob in a while here. I've been meaning to call him, but somebody posted is that he's not sure he's even going to be able to fly in the nationals in August. But right at this point, he's hoping to attend. So I guess we'll see how his rehab goes and how he feels. Go from there. I know John Paris is. You were asking about contests and everything like that. John Paris volunteered to CD Bob's contest in over in Wayne, Michigan. So because that contest is normally in August, and with the nationals in August, they moved it up to July this year. So John's got the flyer on that, and I presume he's going to have it posted here within the next few days, so people can start planning on that one. So got the flyer for the Rust Buster. I'll get that posted here this weekend. So other than that, life goes on.
All right.
Yeah, a bit of a speed bump today. We had to put down had to put down the cat.
Oh,
So
no, geez.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It was my daughter's cat. We lost my daughter in 2009, so we've had the cat for the last 15 years, and I don't know. It's like, losing a cat, thinking of the daughter. It's like losing her again, and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Right.
But it's say life goes on. You know how it is. You guys who have cats and dogs and stuff like that. It's amazing how attached you get. And
we got a cat garden in the back.
You got what?
A cat garden.
Cat garden.
Yeah, there's a lot of cats planted out there. I mean, a lot of them out by the fence. We got lots of cats.
Well, we have decided this will be the last pet we have. First time we've been without a pet since like 1977. I think we're going to see how the other half lives. So.
Very cool. Sorry about your loss.
Yeah.
She's 19 years old, so those things happen. So
yeah,
it's a good life.
That's it. And she was good, like right up. The doctor told us to put her down 2 years ago. He didn't think it was right then. So we got 2 more years out of it and whatever. So at any rate, that's distinctly non-modeling, but definitely kind of put a skewer in the middle of the day. That's all. So
yes. So sorry to hear about that. I'm trying to bring up the. Give me a second here. Matter of fact, Gary Sinclair, how you doing, Gary?
Pretty good.
Trying to find the calendar. I formatted my computer a week or so ago, and I'm still getting it all sorted out. So I'm trying to think. I want to show the calendar for March.
That's it.
And in the meanwhile, Ed Waskey, why don't you tell us what you've been up to, since I'm going to try to find this calendar on my computer.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Good to see y'all and stuff. Basically getting prepared for Sunday. It's supposed to be 70 degrees and calm. So I'm really looking forward to it. Just trying to get everything ready and make sure I don't forget anything
Yeah,
like I've done before. And that,
especially
so
the first time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was gonna, sorry for the loss there, and Ed, I know what you went through. And with Sparky, when I first saw the roll of Monocoat, it was like, oh, that's interesting. But boy, that really turned out nice the way that looks with that green. So
Mhm.
great job. And I have been putting the likes on the series that you've been doing.
That's good. I made a whole playlist out of those. I just did that
Yeah.
today.
Yeah,
25.
I'm gonna have to see if you got any extra carbon fiber landing gear then for the Vector 40.
No.
Ah, okay.
Hey, Sparky, where did the weight end up?
Right now it's 53 ounces.
Well, that's like the 7-ounce improvement, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. As long as it doesn't need any other shit put on it. It has
Mhm.
no tip weight in it, but look how much the wing drops.
That's what no tip weight?
No
Yeah,
tip
no tip
weight.
weight.
So the balance is a little farther forward, but it has more elevator now, so it should turn without adding any tail weight to it.
Yep, I think it should be a really good flying plane.
I hope so. Hope my eyeball was straight enough, because this thing wasn't jigged, it was eyeball jigged.
TLR, that looks about right.
Yeah.
It hasn't failed you yet.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes you build in some kind of goofy thing, but
John Skukulek, I'm gonna have your son take the lead. What's going on? What's been happening with you?
You're up, Tyler.
Nothing really.
Nothing really. You have an airplane on the
On the
bench that you've been looking at?
Yeah.
We've been building this little tube. I think it's
Very
pretty fun
cool.
building, but
Well, that's cool.
What's it going to be powered with?
what?
What are you going to use for power?
Oh, 049.
Oh, very cool.
A TD.
You got a name for it?
Not yet.
We thought it might be interesting to show you guys this has been wonderful for teaching him to fly. It's called a dragonfly,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
and we didn't build it. We bought a box full of these things, and these things will fly on 45-foot lines.
Wow.
It's light and relatively stable for a half A, and it's been great for learning to fly.
Great.
Looks like it's pretty stout too. I can take a crash maybe.
Yeah, you can bounce it around, and if something does crack on it, it's easy to CA it back together, and pretty nice.
Perfect. Hey, John, where'd you get those?
I bought a box of these from a good friend of mine that actually taught me to fly many, many, many years ago here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. His name is Joe Kresnak. He doesn't fly anymore, and so he was happy to transfer a box of those things to help Tyler learn.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Now, I have to say to Sparky, I know you keep saying the numbers haven't been good on this series, but man, it's been ideal for me, for Tyler and I, because we're always having to grab pieces off the ground and put airplanes back together. So it's been really cool watching you do that.
Thanks. It's just to show you that just because you have a crashed airplane, it doesn't have to look crashed when you get it back,
And I think that looks great. Someone else mentioned it too, but And my feeling, I think, is Ed said something about looking at the color initially and saying, yeah, I don't know about that. But
Yeah,
doggone if it doesn't look sharp at this point.
Yeah, sure
Yeah.
does.
Sure does.
Hey,
yeah.
John, I can solve that problem for you about crashing and picking things up.
Is that right?
Yeah, just videotape the next flight. And if it crashes, just rewind it.
Oh, shoot. See, I just don't fully utilize technology. Thanks
See?
for that idea.
That's why I'm president.
That's why you're in charge.
That's why he sits in the big chair, gets the big paycheck. So
That's right.
Exactly. That's why he's in charge.
That's it.
Sure.
And my chair flushes, so it's just perfect.
The throne.
Very good.
Ty's having a sleepover tonight, and we wanted to jump in here early before he falls asleep. He was geared up to do it, and we're getting more excited now because weather may only be a month away now for us
Yep.
to fly.
Very cool. Very cool.
I'll hang in there, John. Hang in there, Tyler. We'll be looking forward to you this year.
Yeah,
Seeing
you're
you
the next
out on the
world
field
champ.
this year.
Tyler's the next world
We-
champ.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got
There you go.
reservations for Muncie again. Oh, that's the other thing we did today. I guess while we're talking, he came home with this massive trophy from flying in beginner last year, and today finally we took the little plate for 2023 and took it to an engraver to have his name put on the plate. And
Nice.
so we have to come back to bring the trophy.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Well,
Very
see if you can come to Fort Wayne at the end of May. We're going to have a for our contest.
I'd be there in a heartbeat if it wasn't a holiday weekend. That's
Well, I know
Memorial
it's a
Day
holiday.
weekend.
I mean, the Sunday, the next day after, that's my birthday. I know that's a holiday, but
Oh, now see, I'll have to
the
reconsider
folks
knowing
down in
that.
Indy,
but
they're putting on a big car race for me and everything. So
someday maybe, but we have a little log cabin on a lake up in northern Michigan, and Memorial Day is when we really put it in full swing and get it fully opened and get stuff in the water and all that. Otherwise, I'd be there. I heard great things about it.
well, I don't know about that, but if you want to come on down to Fort Wayne, my wife and I will take care of your log cabin for the weekend. So,
All right, let's talk about that.
yeah, okay. You guys can run the contest, and we'll take care of your cabin. Okay. So
Be a fun one to go to. That's not too bad of a drive for us either. I'd like to.
it really
to be able
isn't
to do it.
from Grand Rapids. It's a couple hours, but what the heck?
Yeah, no, it would be good. That'd be nice someday.
Let me get
Someday.
Lynn Burrell in. Hey, Lynn, thanks for coming in. And what you been up to?
How we doing, guys? Good to see everybody. Yeah, I'm
Doing
doing all right. Got the wheel pants done on the Nobler. Couple other little jobs. It's coming along, but it's slow. I've been working this week, so a little of this, a little of that. But yeah, I'm happy. Right now I've got it to with the wheel pants on it, we're up to about 21 ounces now. So the weight keeps creeping up very slowly.
Is that with the
So,
motor?
yeah, having fun. What's that, Sparky?
21 ounces with the motor?
No motor.
So we got
No more. Just the frame. Just the
21
frame.
let's see, 21 plus 6 is 27. Plus 6 is what kind of motor you putting in it?
Ox 35.
Okay, so we'll say there's 12 ounces. So I'm going to give you a guesstimate what it's going to weigh. 21 and 6, 27 and 12, 37. Should be about 42.
Yeah, let's see. That's about what my other one is. So that's pretty good. If I can keep it under that, I'd be happy, or around that. So we'll see what we get.
That's a
in the
nice
end.
weight for that airplane. So
Yeah, should be good. Yeah, I've been trying really hard to keep it light, but it's a lot of work because every time you put something on it, you're trying to squeeze every bit out of it that you can. Take everything out of the blocks, take everything out of the wheel pants, just constantly trying to peel weight out of everything.
We got to make 3 of everything and take the lightest one.
Yeah, Yeah, I
I
did
do
that with a couple of parts I wasn't happy with. Made
I do
another
that.
one.
I do that all the time. I make 3 or 4 stabilizers until I get the lightest one.
Get one that's light enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
Very
it's the
good.
way to do it for sure.
I have the calendar up. Let me share this screen here. I'm trying to share the screen. Uh, Come on. I have 3 monitors and I can't always get things to cooperate. There we go. All right, cool. That looks like it should work. Just give me a second here. Okay, where am I at? Okay, and now I'm going to share. And where's the count? Here's the calendar. Okay. And share. All right, let me scroll down to March. Let's see here. And this is what Gary Sinclair does. And so let me get to, here we are, February, and now we're into March. And it's Bob Hunt with his Turning Point. It's an electric twin. And he did a really nice job on that plane. You guys see that?
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So Gary does a fantastic job how he has the plane there behind Bob or to his left, and then he's holding one. That is the kind of neat stuff, just part of some of the neat stuff that Gary Sinclair does. So
Yeah.
thank you very much, Gary, for what you do. I really, really do appreciate it.
You guys are welcome.
Yeah, fantastic. And if you want to be in the future counter, you got to make sure you get the picture in. You know, hopefully you have a picture with your airplane or you're flying your airplane or something like that. And that's kind of the things I like to see in the calendar. And so we'll see what we have for the rest of the year. We have some nice pictures to share. Let me stop sharing that. So that's for March. Stop share. There we go. All right, I'm back. And we haven't let me get to Stuart Morrison. How you doing?
Hi, good. Yep, not too much going on. A little bit on the planes, but I do have a question for Dennis.
Yes, sir.
The that timer you suggested, the BH1869.
Yeah.
I just looked it up on Brodex, but they didn't have any manual or anything. I didn't see anything there. But to adjust that, there's just 2 little screws, is it, in it
Yeah, one of them adjusts the flight duration, the other one adjusts the RPM of the motor.
so how do you know what you're adjusting on it?
They're
You can't.
marked on the board. One of them is marked RPM and the other is marked flight.
Okay.
And it comes with instructions.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering how you adjusted that, though. Or is it basically graduated on there? It gives you some numbers, or
No, it's just a rheostat kind of thing. You take
Yeah.
a Phillips screwdriver and turn the pot. All the way
Okay.
left is the lowest setting, all the way right is the highest setting. So with the RPM, you can either usually set it with a tachometer, and then
Yep.
start it after after the first one, I'll just decide, gee, I need it's a little too slow or a little too fast. And I'll just kind of eyeball it a little bit, get it where I
Right.
want it over a couple of flights.
So the timing, is it like, does it graduate in like minutes or something? Then you just kind of adjust a little bit?
It runs from a minute 45 is the minimum and 6 minutes is the maximum.
Okay.
So normally you need about 5.5 minutes or so to do a stunt pattern. So there's a little bit extra there. And I'm not sure exactly why. Will explained it to me. I wasn't exactly clear why, but the way he has to break up the signal and everything like that. If you go with a 6 minute max, then the minimum he can only go as low as 145. So I usually use the low setting for test flights when I'm trimming things out, getting the wings level, getting the airspeed set, stuff like that, and do a couple of short flights and then go up to a full, a full length flight, when I'm ready to, or when everything's set.
Yep,
What I need
Okay.
is an email address, or you're on Stunthanger, right?
yep.
Okay, send me your email address through that send a personal message at your email address, and I can send you a copy of the instructions for it.
Okay.
Or if you want to wait, just, the instructions obviously come with the unit too. So,
Yeah, I like to take a look before I buy it. Just that's what I was just trying to get an idea
Okay.
of.
not a problem.
I'll send you one now. The email.
Sounds good.
That's good.
All right, fantastic. And I think who's up next is our president of Pampa, Mark Wise.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you, Dennis. It's about time. Gary, I just have,
Everybody come to attention.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the way I'm always treated. Gary, do you have like an administrator's version of your calendar? Like I could send you a picture of me sitting at my computer, maybe printing some stuff out for Pampa. Would that help?
Yeah, whatever you want.
All right.
Or use your connect your handle to your keyboard,
Yeah.
Well,
and
I
you'll
like
be all
that.
set.
I like that. I have, I'll read this to you.
All right.
You won't be able to see it, but
All
for
right.
those interested, there's a checkpoint with the FAI when you run a world championship when they run. And it used to be sometime in April, and we asked them to make it in February. So we had a better idea of if the Worlds was going to happen or not, because if there's a real low turnout, you can't generate the money you need to run the event. But the good thing is that's not the problem. We had a nice rush. So as of about 4 days ago, because I don't get this, Bill gets it. There are 26 countries that are sending flyers
Wow.
in
Wow.
F2A, F2B, C, and D. So that's nice. And right as of several days ago, F2B has, I think, 48 people that are pre-registered. So that'll be good. And I'm sure the judges are not looking for an enormous number of flyers, but there is that critical number, and we're going to be fine. So I wanted everyone to know that. So the Worlds is on. A couple of people have asked me why we're not participating, meaning F2B stunt, in the World Cup. And the reason for that is we have a NATS, and that's our national event. That's the biggest reason. The second reason I wasn't interested in doing it, and neither were all the pilots I'd spoken to, is that means you'd have 6 days in the NATS. The next 2 days you'd have the World Cup, and then the World Championship starts. That's a grind. That's really a grind. So Combat and the other couple events will have a World Cup. When we go to other countries, we participate in the World Cup. In some ways, it gives you a chance to warm up, whether you're a pilot or a judge. But I think we have enough going on that we're not going to do that. There are a bunch of us who are kind of signed up for 16 straight days, and that's a fair amount. So to have a couple of breaks in there is nice. So that's the reasoning. It's I'm really not the czar. I listen to people and try to make the best decision I can for the benefit of the most people. It's kind of the way it works. So I wanted to let you know that. I was ready to throw my computer as far as I possibly could throw it, because for the second time, and maybe you can understand this, I can't. For the second time, very deep into an email to someone important, the screen went blank and I lost everything.
Oh, no.
And so I went on Yahoo, and they said, well, if I sign up for Yahoo Plus and give them my credit card, they would help me fix that problem. And that didn't sit real well for me. So I got to figure that out. But the reason I'm telling you this is the letter that I'm responding to AMA based on the meeting that we had last week I'm going to send it out to every Pampa member.
Nice.
So all of you have a pretty good idea of what's going on between me, the board, and AMA. And I will assume that that won't cause any negative problems. I imagine I'll get some suggestions. That's fine. So one of the things we're going to do, Pampa members are going to start getting a lot of communications. So you know what we're doing, so we can find out what you need. We formed the next committee we formed. We already have a great leader on that. Matt Cologne is going to be the chairman of the communications committee. And my dear friend and a guy I just love to death, Will Davis, volunteered to help him on that committee. So if you want to be involved in social media and how do we maximize the website, our web page, and the newsletter, how do we do that, and how does it make it better for a member and more attractive for a non-member? Let Matt know, and he's going to form the committee, and we're going to get going pretty quickly on that. So, because I think everything stems from communications. And luckily, that committee is loaded with some really good people. And so I take very little credit for it other than the idea. And so that's where that is. I can't think of much more. I know some of you guys might be down in Georgia right now at the big swap shop down there. The one I go to is in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and I think it's a week from tomorrow. And that's a fun swap shop. And last year I was able to find 11 rolls of Ultra Code. That's like finding gold. So that's kind of what I'm up to. The committee that's in charge of the Worlds under Bill Lee. Bill asked me, I volunteered to be the guy to set up the Zoom meetings. Our first one is Sunday. It's very hard to get 30 people, together. And I'm sure that's going to be the beginning of a lot of Zoom meetings for the World Championship. Fortunately for Pampa, we have a great guy who's doing the Nats again for the third and last year, and that's John Paris. So he and Michelle, they do a wonderful job, and it really takes things off my shoulders. But after next year, we're going to be looking for the next group of leaders, and we're starting that very soon. So we don't have to do it at the last minute. And we have a couple of names of people we think might be interested. So I think this is the last thing I promise you. Every once in a while you get this thing that flows through your head. And I'm not sure how to handle it, but I started thinking, I was wondering, and I'll be curious for you guys, and I may have said this Monday, I can't remember. Where would RC be today without ARFs? And I think the answer to that is it would be pretty lousy shape. If you watch guys in an RC field, it's hard to find a hand-built airplane. They're foam. Some of them are top-end, custom-made, but you don't see a lot of kits. And when you think about that, and that's still supporting a fair number of people, isn't that something we should be looking at? Whether you're a purist or not, if you want control line to continue, that's one way of helping it. And one of the reasons I'm trying to have a real partnership with the AMA is I can say I represent 300 people that fly stunt, but AMA can say I represent 130,000 people, and maybe I have some muscle to get you to help us out with some inexpensive airplanes. I see it at Triple Tree every year. People love flying that ring rat. And I said, where do I get one? Does it have to be yellow? I said, well, it's a kit. And when you say it's a kit, it's just like they're reading the obituary page. Their mouths drop and they need oxygen. And so whether we like it or not, a lot of people today are not into creative skills. They'd rather buy it.
Right.
So I think someone's going to have to get on that real quick. How do we do that? Bob Hunt even suggests, I thought it was a great idea, and I'm going to ask AMA, do they have enough buying power to help us lower the cost of balsa? It's worth asking.
Wow.
So, Pampa has to change because the scenery has changed so much. At one point, there used to be fights for who would be president and who would be district directors, and that's not quite the same anymore. And the landscape has changed so much. So that's why we're shortly going to have 8 operating committees within Pampa. And the other reason for that is I don't want Pampa to be my blueprint. I want everyone having ownership. And I think the only way to do that is force it and get guys to come up with the solutions that are probably better than mine. And plus, I've had fun working on committees. You get to know the people better, you have more fun. And sooner or later, someone comes up with the perfect answer that one person can't develop on their own. So anyway, that's where it is. I got a really interesting letter from, I won't mention his name right now, but he's a respected modeler, and it was written to AMA. And he challenged them to convince him why to keep joining. And he used as the example Pampa. He said, why are these guys doing all this work and you're not? They're only charging $40 a year and you guys are charging 75. It was pretty interesting. And it wasn't disrespectful. It was just from where he sits, that's what he sees. So I'm very excited about this partnership between Chad Boudreaux's executive director and Rich Hansen, the president, and me. And I don't mean because of me. It's just I think it's going to do a lot to set kind of an example for how SIGs could work better with AMA headquarters. They need to be transparent. They agreed to that. They need to do more. Maybe we need to do more. I don't know, but we're going to find out. And I really think it's the right thing to do at the right time to do it. So again, Charles, thank you for this platform. I know it doesn't help anyone build anything, but we'll keep the hobby going for you.
Appreciate that. I have a question for you. I'm actually interested in going to the World Championships as a spectator.
Yep.
And so I saw the events. Anyways, I saw the events, and it looks like you have F2B and F2D running at the same time. Is that right? On the Region 5 or Site 5 or Location 5? Is that right?
That could be. The LPAD is only going to be used for F2B for precision aerobatics, but not far away is one of the paved areas for speed. So yeah, they're running close together because there's no reason not to.
Because I'm going to be flying out with a friend of mine from San Diego, and so he's really motivated to see a little bit of stunt, but he's really more of a combat fan.
Yeah.
And so I was just wondering if you would have to make a decision that day to go watch combat and not be able to see stunt.
No, this is my first Worlds, but I assume that you can walk wherever you want to walk as long as it's not, on the flying surface. Kind of like a golf tournament, you just decide where you want to be.
Just like the net.
I know some guys right now who really can't pay out of pocket for 16 days, and what they're doing is going to the Nats, going home, and then coming back for maybe the last 2 days of the Worlds. So it's what you can do and what you can afford.
Yeah, I'm not going to the Nats because I can't stay there that long.
Yeah,
at hotel stay. So I'm just going to go strictly for the World Championships, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I was just curious looking at that.
Well, I think the safest time you could have, Charles, is if someone asks you, do you know the event director? Say no. Okay. And that way your rental car won't be keyed, and you'll be safe.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's funny.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we have a new person, Total Tech. He says, "We love you, Mark."
Who was that?
Total Tech.
Is he drinking?
I don't know. I can't tell in the chats.
Tell him I love him too.
Yeah, and then we did get a like from John Skukulek. And John Skukulek, you are a member of our YouTube channel. We thank you. Thank you for your support. Appreciate that. Gave us a like too.
Thank you,
And
Charles.
so we're set up there. So we are at 32 concurrent viewers, and we have 23 likes. So there's a bunch of you that have not hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. Please hit the like button. And if you don't like the show, the engagement still helps. If you do something, hit the
down button.
the down button.
Hit a button.
Hit a button. And don't forget the super chats. We could definitely, I haven't seen a super chat on my show in some time. So please help me represent and show Sparky that that people appreciate the show that I'm doing. And that's one way you can do it, by doing some super chats and even join and subscribing. Please do that. And Philip Bailey, he gave us a like. Thank you, Philip. Hope to see you in here shortly. He didn't say he is, but he gave us a like. So that's kind of where we're at.
Charles, isn't there an old song? Maybe Denny would know. Something about "Won't you come home, Phil Bailey"? Or is that Bill Bailey? It's one of the Baileys.
Interesting. Not familiar. Well, I went flying today. Let me show you. I went out with my it's a trainer, but now I'm beginning to call it a crashable. Not that I've crashed it yet, but I'm really hoping to put it at risk. Let me see if I can show you the plane here. And let me see if I can the show is boring, huh?
Every time you take one up, there's a risk.
Yes, that's true. Let me show you this thing. My friend Stuart Mossman, who I'm actually going to go to the World Championship with, he actually made a couple of these for me, and he also made me an extra wing. So I have 3 wings, and I don't know if I can make this bigger. Can you guys see this all right? The plane?
Yep.
Okay. So it basically is a foam wing, and it's rubber band on top of a fuselage, which is basically a plank combination of balsa and the basswood. And it's aluminum landing gear, and it's an LA-25 mounted vertical. And I was flying it today. I was actually able to do overhead 8s, which is great for me because I had vertigo last month, and so I'm pretty excited. But I have like 2 of these and an extra wing, so I'm considering them crashable, so I can take them down low and get used to flying really low. So that's what my objective is, and I flew it today. Got lower, and I'm still going to work on trying to get even lower, because I hopefully will have another one in my Blazer. That's my my vehicle I used to go to the flying field, and hopefully if I nick the ground, I can go grab the other one and fly some more. So that's what my strategy is this year. I mentioned that to Dennis Adamison when we talked a week or so
Great
ago.
idea.
Yeah, this was actually what I had for kids, and unfortunately, I haven't had that many kids roll up on me and go, "Hey, I'd like to fly." I haven't had that happen. So this one I've had for like 3 years, and I've actually helped 2 kids fly. Carl Reed's grandson, Sawyer, and another kid who rolled up on me at the flying field. But that's it. And I just had an aha moment couple of weeks ago that, wow, I should use my trainers. Yeah, go ahead, Lynn.
I was just going to say to you, Charles, that is a fantastic idea. I tell all the guys, and the guys who know me know that I always say, you need to have an airplane that you don't give a damn about so much, that you're going to go out there and learn to fly low. Learn to fly the bottoms low, because if you are afraid of the ground, I know guys that have been afraid of the ground for 30 years, and they're just as afraid of the ground 30 years later as they were 30 years ago. And you go to the contest and you know who those guys are, because it's the same thing every time. They don't get the points because their bottoms are always at 8 feet. They come around and the outsides are always higher than the insides, and certain things are just it's like you don't even have to watch them fly. You know what you're going to get every time. And the only way to get better at it is to get an airplane, not care, and learn to fly low. And I'm a very firm believer of that. So
Well,
good for you.
I'm hoping to do that.
That's
I
awesome.
care about planes. I mean, I still just have a tendency to, but I'm hoping I can break that tendency and, you know, risk it all. And as
You have to, because it's the only way you will get to the point where you will be more comfortable to fly a 4 or 5 foot bottom. Otherwise, you're always going to have that high pull out over and over and over and over. I did it when I was a lot younger, which helped me a lot because I took an old airplane. I think it was an old, like a Goldberg Cos. No, you know what it was? It was a Midwest. It was a Midwest BF 109, 48-inch span. And I had an old Fox 35 on it. And the airplane was beat to death. I mean, it was in terrible shape. One of the guys in the club gave it to me. And I just decided I was going to go out there and I was going to fly low bottoms. And I did it. I just went out and I started flying low bottoms. I never crashed it, or I may have, I may have swiped it a couple of times and, took the needle valve off it or took the prop off it, but I never really dorked it in. But by God, I learned how to fly lower bottoms. It was great.
that's what my objective is, is to go out there and take it down, see what it actually feels like, see what it actually looks like, down low,
Well, good for you. That's awesome. I think that's just amazing, Charles. Way to go.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the encouragement. I appreciate that. So we have
You're
in
welcome.
the chat box, Roberta says, "Hey, Mark, thanks for being the right guy at the right time." And this is Roberta. You know Roberta? Is that your wife? Are you muted, Mark?
It sounds like my first wife's attorney.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that is so funny.
Uh-huh.
Man, you should be a stand-up
No,
comic.
but seriously, thank you.
Have you ever done any stand-up comic? Man, you should be doing that, I think.
Every year at Brodax.
There you go. There you go. Spark is if you're not smart, you have to be funny.
Well, I think I think you have to be smart to be funny. I really do think that.
I don't know about that.
I really think that. You have to be pretty smart to be funny. And Philip Bailey says bad, very bad. I could hear him say that. He does that.
Yeah.
He says that often. And then Roberta, she's back. She says Roberta is actually Les McDonald. I'm using her Chromebook.
Oh, my stiletto buddy.
Hey, thanks, Les. Thanks for coming in. And then Tony Dallas. Now, Tony Dallas is a member of our YouTube channel. I can tell by the moniker next to his name. He supports us financially. And we appreciate all our members who support us. I mean, we can tell. So, when Sparky is building and he sees the comment box, he can tell who are our supporting patrons, I mean, some of you don't care not to support, but you've been watching Sparky build hundreds of planes and you're not supporting. I think you should be a little bit embarrassed. Now, if you can't afford $499, well, you can't afford $429. But I don't think that's the majority of people. No. Can't afford, just forget having a cup of coffee at some fancy barista.
You get a half a cup of coffee. They're $8.
Yeah. So I mean, just I think, how many do we have? We have 50 members, Spark. How many members do we have?
I don't know. It was up to 60, but 3 dropped. I think 57. Let me look here.
Now, some of them are different tiers, but I mean, all I'm asking is just do the minimum just to support us.
Let's see here. We have we go here. Shoot. There we are. Gotta go studio. We lost a member. We're at 4286. I thought we were getting close to 4300, but let's see here. Earn.
Those are subscribers. I mean, the actual members who actually.
Right. 58.
58. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate all 58 of you. I just think it should be more than that. And
We
come on.
lost, we lost 4 last month. I guess they didn't like this build.
Yeah. And
Charles,
if you
can I
get,
say just one more thing?
sure.
For those of you who don't know, I bet Denny knows. There are very few people who have ever won 3 world champions in F2B. Les McDonald, who's watching, is one of the very, very few. I think Billy Werwich may have won 3, and I'm not sure who else. I think Billy's won 3. I can't swear. I know Les has. So,
I think Billy.
Charles, that's a feather in your cap.
Very good. 3. That's not easy. It's not easy to get 1.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty amazing. And then we have Tony Dallas. He says someone needs to. Oh, here we go. We got a new member, I believe, a new supporter. So that's we have a new member. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining our the Stunthangar YouTube channel memberships. Appreciate that. Sandpiper. It's a new member, Sparky. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Doesn't show yet.
Say it again, Sparky.
It doesn't show yet.
Okay. Yeah, I show 1 new member on the studio side of the channel. Anyways, Tony Dallas says someone needs to invent a ground avoidance control line airplane for all of us beginners, and he gave us a like.
Oh yeah, here we go. He's a supporter. Or let's see, Sandpiper. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. And then we have the Stephen Smith. He says, "Hi, Les. Thanks for joining." And so here we are. So thank you very much. So now we have 28 likes against the 31 viewers. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that. Appreciate that very much. So anyways, now we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. Is there any questions in the chat box? I mean, we have some people here who probably could give you a really good answer. It might be different answers, but they all will work. They all have worked for them. So in the chat box, put in their question, or if you have a comment, this is a great time to do that. Are you talking, Dennis? You're muted.
Yeah, I think what Mark was saying about having some kind of a standard foam or whatever construction, kind of a standard ARF available and everything like that. That always sounds good. I'm just curious. It seems to like a lot of things, even full-size aerobatics, and some other folks have done events where they've had so-called one design contests where everybody flies the same, or competes with the same kind of thing.
Yep.
The race car people used to have that series where they all raced identical cars and everything like that.
NASCAR.
We might be able to do something like that if we could get, we have a relatively, small membership by comparison to the masses, in RC and everything like that. But we might be able to, if we could get that airplane that Mark is talking about and start routinely running a 1 event contest for it at our local meets and even at the nationals and stuff like that. We might be able to encourage some of our regular stunt flyers to show what you can do with even a simple, ARF type model, and just help to drive the numbers a little bit. But I don't know. I like the idea.
Good idea.
I can't help thinking. I know I've been strong on builder and model rule my entire modeling career and everything like that. And it's a little standoffish when the ARFs, the Brodak ARFs first start coming out and stuff. Then I noticed that you go to the Brodak meet and you see people there who you don't see any other time of the year. Why is that? Well, they're busy. They got their careers, their families, they're working 60-hour weeks and whatever. And sometimes they'll get a week off. And they'll take a trip to Brodak. They'll fly their Brodak ARF that probably they haven't flown since last year's Brodak fly-in and stuff like that. And chance for them to participate and everything like that. And, it's like, would we be, I can't believe that we would be better off not having those people around with us. That we're better, to help nurture people to participate at whatever level. We're not sure. It's nice to be a 3-time world champion, but a lot of folks just have absolutely no,
Well, isn't that
aspirations or anything like that.
every contest, Dennis? The only thing that's required for BOM is the nats.
Mhm.
So that's every contest anyway.
But even then, the models that we fly, somebody built them. All right, somebody had to build them.
Somebody built your ARF.
Somebody built the ARF. The ARFs that I see at the RC field, they're mostly the foam airplanes. They're not even wooden airplanes anymore. They're not being built per se by anybody. They're coming out of a mold with molded in colors and molded in trim and stuff. Somebody's installing servos in it or something like that. But and they have the servos are plugged into the receivers and everything like that. There's the level of prefabrication on for these mainstream RC flyers is phenomenal.
It is.
And
the law of numbers. They got the numbers to do that.
And what we need to do is before we start worrying about 100,000 people, let's worry about what can we do with the 300. How can we leverage our 300 and get the most out of it? And that would be with standard designs or something like that. And
Denny, that would be a great contest to announce that Tampa would put up some kind of money. No, I mean, not break the bank, but something for the person who's most responsible for the design that we dictate will be the official Tampa, beginner trainer. Because you got some talented folks out there, and some are right. I'm looking at some of them, and get people thinking. I mean, I could do a committee, but that's limiting to people on the committee. Bob Hunt would be good. I mean, Sparky would be good. How do you do something quick, cheap, that can take a hit? And, the power systems are out there. That's easy. It's really just giving them something, spectral lines. I'll think, Denny, would you get back to me on that? And anyone who was interested, get back to me and, if I have any ideas.
I'll tell you what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I was in Lowe's the other day, and I was thinking, I bet I could build an airplane out of just using Lowe's materials only.
There's no question about it. No question.
Great idea.
I said this before, Sparky, that I think the hobby shop of the future are the giant, stores.
For sure.
Look at Flight Test.
Yeah, exactly.
I
It
mean,
can't be the hobby shop. They're not around.
It's going to take some work. I was thinking, well, I could get a 2x4 and rip it on my table saw to a 1/4 inch and lighten it up and make a spar and go over and get some insulation, some pink insulation, and cut a wing. And I got, I got that polyacrylic on the floor, paint the wing with polyacrylic, and they got some brown bag. I don't know how heavy it'd be. It'd probably be heavy, but I think I could make one of just Lowe's material.
And just have all the controls out in the open so they're easy to adjust and see, and just give them the experience and the thrill of flying. That's how you get new people.
I think Mike Lonke, you have a question or comment, Mike Lonke?
Well, I was trying to figure out how to raise my hand. I don't see that anymore.
Yeah, they changed the way the Zoom looks. I think it's under reactions. If you go to reactions, I think it might be there.
Hey, Mike, you just go like this.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, anyway.
I had to hit more.
I got two things real quick. We went to the Perry, Georgia swap meet today, Sam and I. We just got back literally 20 minutes ago. We just got back to the house.
All right.
John, I heard you talking about Joe Kresnick earlier, saying you got some stuff from him.
Yeah, he's a longtime real good friend.
Okay, well, Sam and I know him because in the summer of 22, we went up to Michigan and we met Joe and Joe Jr. and we bought about $800 worth of F2D stuff from them. We bought
I know, I was aware of that.
And a dozen engines and all kinds of stuff. They really helped kickstart Sam's career in F2D because they gave us all that good practice.
I was aware of that. That's very cool.
great.
His basement is a hobby shop.
Okay, so Mark Weiss.
Yes, sir.
That OS 108 that you're going to put on your Ringmaster that you were looking for a muffler for.
Yes.
Is that a new motor? Is it an old motor? Is it all caster gooey, or is it
No,
a fresh
no,
one?
it's a never run OS 108 that has.
Oh, well, then it's going to look great with this brand spanking new muffler that I got for you today.
Oh, you are the man.
Brand new in the box.
Wow.
With the sheet and the adapter. Had the adapter too. I know you already have that, but that's what you were looking for, right?
That's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah. It was only $200. I wasn't sure if you wanted to spend that much, but you can PayPal me right now. Okay.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you 5 years of free membership at Pampa.
Oh, I was thinking more like a lifetime membership, man. And then you'll probably still be ahead because I'll probably keel over in 3 years. I wouldn't get my money's worth out of it.
No. Hey, I really appreciate it. That is for my Ringmaster.
Yeah, I got you hooked up, man. So I have your address on file. It'll go out next week. It was $25 is what it was.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's more than I paid for the engine, but I'm still happy with it.
Okay, I got a bunch of stuff in the swap meet, but I'm not going to go through all of it with you tonight, but did get some cool control line stuff. I got 2 control line planes that I want to show, and some of you guys might recognize one of them.
Go ahead.
The first one is a Tom Dixon Vector 40 profile.
Nice.
This is not the quick build kit. This is actually a built-up wing that's covered. It's pretty good. It's a little dusty, but it's not beat up or anything, and it's pretty straight. It was $25.
Oh, that's
Couldn't
great.
pass it up.
No.
TJ Vieira is looking to. He's not going to be racing as much anymore. He wants to start flying more stunt. So he asked for me to look out for airplanes for him. So I think this one's going to go to TJ probably. This other one you guys may have seen in a contest somewhere, and you might recognize the guy's name. This was Bob Dixon's airplane. Now, Bob Dixon is either Tom Dixon's brother or cousin. I didn't really get a definitive answer.
They're distant cousins.
They're distant cousins. So, this is Bob Dixon's airplane. It's even got Mark. It's even got Pampa on the bottom for you.
Yeah, I see that.
And stunning. I don't know what it is. Sparky, do you recognize that with the forward canopy and all that?
It's a crystal. Yeah,
that's the air. I thought maybe that was somebody's daughter or something.
No, I've seen that airplane fly. He flew it at Brodax.
I was told it had a Discovery Retro 60 in it.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah. I thought it had a 4-stroke in it, but Discovery Retro would be about right.
Will anything else fit in that?
No. What would you have to give for that?
$25.
You got it from Bob for $25?
No, not Bob. Another gentleman that was there. He's part of the Georgia Modelers Club. He's part of that group down there in Perry, Georgia. I can't remember what his name was. He was there with Bill Davenport, who's a forum member, and also, Bill sells a lot of stuff on eBay under the name Bad Bill.
Yeah.
But for $25, I couldn't say no. Again, This could be another one for TJ. This one, the Vector 40 was 37 ounces with no engine on it. So that should come in fairly decent. This one is 46 and a half ounces with no engine.
Yeah. Be 65.
It'll be 65.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not horrible for the size of the airplane that it is. But anyway, that's just a couple of the scores that I got.
What's that thing sitting on the bench there? That's cool. Is that a GB?
That is
that a
Yeah.
Super?
I was gonna wait till Monday to show you that one, but that is a giant scale
Sukhoi.
Sukhoi.
Cool.
Very nice.
And it's gonna be Sam's first big 3D gasser.
Oh, nice. Right on, Sam.
I bought that from Bill Davenport, who is a control line guy. And there was no engine in it. But luckily, DLE Engines was there. I bought a 35
Right on, look at that.
35cc gas engine for that airplane. So
There you go.
all I got to do is get a receiver for it, and we're ready to go
Nice.
because the airplane already has servos in it.
That's
So
sweet.
we're jumping into the world of big gas airplanes
That's awesome.
for RC. I got a bunch more piddly control line stuff, actually quite a bit of stuff, but I won't take any more time tonight. I'll show it on Monday.
All right. Hey, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Hey, Mike, thanks so much.
Yeah, like I said, $200, Mark.
Very cool.
I got to
Let me,
put them up around you.
Let me catch up on the chat box. A few more comments, then I'll get to Stephen Michella, and then Howard Rush. Well, I have let me go and mute your mic. So then I have Roberta says Billy won 3. This is regarding World Championships. Okay. Igor has won 3, and Ping Pong has won 5, and Paul has 1. Fitz has 1, and Orestes has 1. Thank you very much, Les. I appreciate that. And then Rico's Videos, who's a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you for your support. Appreciate that. He says, to the guys who fly electric, is there any noticeable difference between flying pusher props and conventional rotation? And go ahead, Dennis.
Well, I know we have people with different opinions. I only fly pusher props, and there's a lot of other people who only fly tractor props, and there's room in the hobby for all of us. So I think that the pusher props or let you do some things that the normal props don't let you do, and people flying normal props are saying, well, just trim your airplane better and you don't have to worry about it. There's been an awful lot of contests won with normal rotation props before they're electric and everything like that. But the pusher props will usually improve the line tension on any outside maneuver. So like the top of the vertical 8, top of the hourglass, you'll notice extra line tension up at the top. You'll notice, and when you do an overhead 8, the outside half the lines will be tighter than they are in the inside half, which is exactly the opposite of what happens with a normal rotation prop. But I don't know. It's one big advantage for normal rotation props is that there's more of them. And until we started getting a really nice selection of pusher props from Badass, lightweight Zors, that's really even a playing field. So we got really wonderful pusher props available now too. So I don't know. People have flown them both. Some say, yeah, I mean, going back. Other people say, no big deal. So it's in my case, I started flying the pusher props and I just standardize on them. I don't use anything else. And some people have gone back and forth. So I recommend to anybody who's flying the electric, you got a chance to do it. You make the change between flight to flight, and just go ahead and convince yourself whether one's an advantage or not. So.
Thank you, Dennis. And Dennis had me try it, and I'm not going back. And I really like it. I honestly could say my SV11 probably would not. Well, it might be around, but I would have to repair it a couple of times because there was a few I got myself in a few situations early in its maiden flight and soon after, and I really believe that if it wasn't for the counter rotating prop, I would have lost line tension and would have lost the plane. Would have had to repair it. So the plane really has one small crash, and that was some electrical problem. But I love it. I like it, especially I feel so confident when I do the overhead 8 on the outside portion of the overhead 8. I just have great confidence. The plane is just so solid there, and I didn't feel that when I used to fly my other planes, the gas as well as electric, because at that part of the maneuver, the plane is light, and I just have more confidence there. So I like it. Going into the wind on the outside part of the overhead 8. That's if it wasn't for just that, if that's all I got, that'd be a reason enough for me to keep flying the pusher props just for that one benefit. And then I have Tony Dallas again. Thank you. He's also a member of our YouTube channel. He says, can someone explain why servos are not allowed and smart speed controllers are allowed? I don't even know what he's talking about.
I think he's talking about like when Wendy had that throttle control thing where it was done with sound or something. I don't know how it was done, but I don't think you're allowed to control your throttle with anything other than, I don't think you're allowed to control your throttle at all. I mean,
It's done.
Yeah. I presume what he's talking about is things like active timer systems, which, adjust the motor RPM. Yeah, on an electric model, it lets them adjust the motor RPM when the airplane's in different attitudes. Kind of mimics what a glow engine does when you point the nose up, or when the fuel draw gets different and stuff. So, the so-called 2-4 brake and stuff, you can mimic that with an electric motor. As far as why that's allowed and the other isn't, I guess when you talk, we've got ourselves limited to manual control of the airplane, because that is, I guess the expectation is that's where the skill level is in controlling the flight path of an airplane. And there's some concern that if we start allowing electronic controls of the airplane, somebody's going to be smart enough to figure out how to make those controls more intelligent. So they,
I mean, like an electric airplane with those
stuff like that.
gyros in them.
Yeah. Well, the gyros are only used around the motor speed, and but they're not allowed to feed back into the control system. Now, there was one guy from Canada, actually, Kim Doherty. Cripe, I
Fly by
forget how many
wire.
years. What he actually had his bell crank was basically a potentiometer that he drove electronic servos with that, and the servos drove the control surfaces of his airplane. And in theory, he should have had a lot of capability on that. I believe he competed with one world championship on it, and they quickly said, no, we don't want people doing this. And they quickly disallowed it, beyond that. I think in the scale event, you're allowed to run a lot of different accessory controls by radio. If you have even things like engine throttle and flaps and things like, turning on landing lights, you can run all those by radio. You can run ailerons, actually make you do a wing wobble or wing waggle effect as a maneuver. You can do all of those with electronic controls, but the primary flight controls, the elevator control, must be manual. And that's, that was their answer on that. But, there was a time where they used to have scale airplanes with like 8 lines on them, and using all these different handles to try to control different features and stuff. And it got to be a bit unruly. And so allowing them to put an RC transmitter and a receiver in the airplane and transmitter hanging from their belt or something like that, they can control all of the accessories with the transmitter, but they have to fly the airplane manually. I don't think I've answered his question, but just trying to point out that, that there is some difference in that.
Well, thank you, Dennis. The next comment I have is from Brent Williams. It says, "Hola, y'all." Thank you, Brent. And then we have old control line pilot, who is we know him as Bob Whitley, and he's a member of our YouTube channel. I believe he's one of our big tippers, one of our big tippers. So thank you, Bob Whitley, for your support. He says, "Like given and cheers to all. I'll try to join in Monday." All right. Thank you, Bob. And let me get to Stephen Minchella. Hey, Stephen, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm all right. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. Doing good. What you been up to?
No, not much. Just I think I've got the living problem under control. I've got a place going into escrow. Either went into escrow before 5 o'clock this evening, or Monday morning it'll go into escrow, and then hopefully everything will go good. And
yes, all right, good. I'm glad to hear that
yeah.
from your mom. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then today, yeah, I have some money saved up from the pandemic. So I told her, I says, I don't want you wasting your money on rent anymore. So I'm going to give you a down payment for a mobile home. Let's go find a mobile home for you to stay in. And that way we have an investment, and our money's not being wasted. But anyways, besides all that good stuff, I was out flying the Nobler today, getting ready for the VSC, and I'll be darned, I got a little too close to the carpet and knocked the prop and the rudder off of it. And so I got to build me, like on the purple one. Yeah, I got to build a new rudder and stick on there, and I got to put a little piece of black tape on the nose because I skinned the white off of it pretty good, and I bent my vent tubes all to stink. So anyways, and I was just bragging to Mike last week, I've got over 1,800 flights on a piece of ARF junk, and sure enough, today I was coming out of the clover leaf on the bottom side of it, and the wind switched directions on me. Instead of going away from me, pushing my airplane out, it came and hit me right in the tail, and it just kind of pushed the airplane down to just got it low enough to the carpet where it struck the prop, and then once it struck the prop, it pulled the rear end down and smashed the rudder in the ground, and then I went ahead and dead sticked it around the other half of the circle and landed it. Oh boy. Just perfect. Just what I needed to do.
Yeah, right before they go into VSC.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just what I needed to do, put a bunch of glue on it, some Band-Aids. Oh well, we'll get it fixed. It'll be all right.
Yeah, well, I need your help to get John Wright in here. I mean, we got to get John Wright in here. John Wright has so much history, and I would love for him to. So I know you see him every week. You fly with him.
I do. I talk to him a lot. Yeah, I'll get at him and start telling him,
maybe,
and maybe I can get him a computer if he needs a computer. Maybe I can help him out with a laptop so that way he can get on there and see us and stuff and be part of it.
I think that's what the problem is. He's waiting
I think so too.
And also, using some of our older statesmen, they have challenges with computers, so it's
right
too.
Right.
Yeah, so help me get John Wright in here. I really would love to have John Wright in here. John Wright is such a neat guy. He actually took care of me at my second contest that I went to, as I was like a fish out of water. I didn't know too many people. I went to Wood and Arrows, and John, he could tell I didn't know anything about being at a contest, so he kept his eye on me. He helped me, and so I have. And then we actually shared a room when we went to Brodax. We went to Brodax. I flew there. He drove there, and then I flew his plane that we call Cold Turkey. That Tudor.
One. Yeah.
I flew that at Brodax, and that was John Wright's airplane. So, I'd like to get him in here.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, well, thanks for coming in, Stephen. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and then when we get to VSC, one of the guys, I called him the other morning to speak with him about something that we had spoken about in Vegas in November, and I I might be bringing home a new old time stunt airplane.
Oh, very good.
And I'm hoping it probably should be a pretty go ahead thing, a pretty for sure thing, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough room to tote everything home.
Yeah,
Because
that's a nice problem to have, though.
Yeah, I got to bring the SV-22 home, and I don't know if a
Wow.
humongous will fit, if the humongous will fit in the back with it.
Now you're not driving with John Wright though, right? John Wright's
No, I'm
driving.
gonna take the Honda.
Well, John Wright probably could take your SV-22.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how much room we'll have.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for coming in. Let me get
Yeah.
to Howard Rush. Hey, Howard, how you doing, Howard?
Okay. As for the electronic control of aerodynamic surfaces on stunt planes, it was obvious to people who are automatic controls engineers that would just turn into an autopilot contest. Namely, if you look at an electronic circuit, you can't tell what's in there. The average CD can't tell what's in there. The average electrical engineer can't tell what's in there, and it could just be an automatic system.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see the problem with that.
So the direct connection and the maneuvering the controls, maneuvering the airplane through the controls and in the air as the air loads on it. That's the nature of stunt. So
what you been up to? How is the progress on your repair?
There's a little progress, yeah. I've been working on trophies for stunt contests.
All right, very, very cool.
But I have nothing else to report, so you can
all right, cool.
Go ahead and talk about it here.
Jonathan Caradas. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going? What you been up to?
Just running around outside covering the boat. Actually, we've got a storm coming, but yeah, an interesting week. Did a bit of flying the other day. I don't know whether people know, but Auckland, where we live, is a volcanic city. It's got 50 old extinct volcanoes. Most of them have been quarried away and used for building material. But there are still a lot of reserves and parks that have been built inside the crater. And that's where we were flying the other day, inside an extinct volcano.
Wow.
And
hope it doesn't light you up.
It was quite fun. Sorry?
But that was interesting.
I hope it doesn't light you up.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's actually quite a pleasant place to fly, but you get a bit of turbulence rolling off there's trees around the lip of the, it's just one of the volcanoes that opened out to the sea, and you get a bit of turbulence, but it was good. It was good fun. But yeah, a little bit of progress on the Hurricane, and Sparky will still be disgusted with me. I still haven't run that
Merco
bloody Merco 65 and 50 yet, 61 and 50 yet. But I will do because I'm going to need the power shortly. Oh, my phone just rang. I've just tossed it away. Yeah, so it's been quite a good week. I didn't fly today. A few guys went up to the airfield, I believe, but not many. And last week we had a big meeting with mainly radio control people up there. But hey, I have a question for Steve. Steve, where are you, mate? Stephen. I was going to say, I think I know your brother. He lives in Russia. Have you got a brother over there called Rasputin?
Which Stephen are you talking about?
Manchilla.
Oh, Stephen. Oh, I'm sorry.
Manchilla. Yeah.
He has to be had his brother named Rasputin. That's,
Yeah. Stephen with the beard. Have you got a brother in Russia called Rasputin?
That's a good one. How are you tonight?
Yeah, good.
So you were flying your
Part of
airplane? You were flying your model. You're flying your model inside of a volcano crater?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta be
Nice.
better than
It's cool
flying in the
deal.
dump.
Nice.
Hey, what
Cool.
part of America are you in, Stephen?
I'm over here in the California, United States.
Okay.
Tommy,
Yeah.
Where are you
Yeah.
at? Australia?
Auckland, New Zealand.
New Zealand. Wow.
Same thing.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Australia's a little island off to the west of us.
I see. How's
No,
the
we're near
weather
Australia. We're not far away.
How's the weather in New Zealand? Is it cold there, or is it tropical kind of? It's cold, right?
Well, no, not in Auckland and up north. No, it's actually reasonably subtropical up here. It's not too bad. But down south, we have glaciers that go down to almost sea level. And because we're long and thin, and we have mountains and snow in the South Island. We have volcanic activity in the North Island, and mixed farming. We grow a lot of kiwi fruit and avocados and lamb and beef and a little bit of wool that's coming into fashion again. We're getting very good names now for our wines. We export a hell of a lot of timber to China. We've got huge coal reserves, but the greenies won't allow us to burn the bloody stuff. So we've got huge oil and gas reserves as well off the coast, but we're not allowed to take the way a bit now. So we've got the potential to become a good economy again. We were very strong in the 60s and 70s, but yeah, slowly downhill, But it's a good place to live.
Got to get rid of Peter Rabbit. Or Peter Rabbit. Isn't
Peter?
What is that girl's
Peter
name
Rabbit.
who runs that place?
Who's Peter Rabbit?
What is that lady's name who runs that place with the buck teeth?
Oh, you mean down here? Yeah, our Prime Minister.
Yeah.
That was Jacinda Ardern. She's long gone.
Oh, that's good.
She could see trouble coming, so she had enough and bailed out. Yeah. She bailed out about 18 months ago, 2 years ago now.
How close do you live to XJet?
And
how close to XJet? That's the only thing I know him by. His YouTube channel. He lives in New Zealand and he flies drones.
I don't know. Don't know where he's based.
Look up XJet.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, something happened recently you would have loved to have been at, and that was the fastest Indian guy. What's his name? Burt Munro.
Right.
Has a memorial run every year. They do a Memorial Day, and they do old-fashioned racing. They race old motorbikes and tear around the place and dress up in their leathers.
How far from him for Cargill are you?
Oh,
Room.
1,000 miles or more.
100?
1,000 miles.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, point taken, Charles.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, that's it from me.
All right, cool. Well, I think we've gone through everybody, and we can end the live stream portion. Any people who want to stick around can hang out in the after party. I want to thank everybody for coming in, and I really appreciate Sandpiper. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate that. And please, others, join in with myself, Sandpiper, and all our other 53 or 52 members. 58 members, excuse me, and keep this thing going. Anyways, with that being said, we'll be back Monday, hope you have a chance between now and then to work in your shop, go do some flying, work on an airplane, and come back with some information or questions. And that way we have a really good show. So
one thing, Charles, there might be a Saturday with John and Dan tomorrow, depending.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds very good. I'm going to stop the live stream now. So until then, fair winds, tight lines.